Hello everyone and welcome back to Who the Hell is This Guy? Where today we are talking about Salvation's Edge raid weapons. We got 6 weapons to talk about, and we're going to start with Imminence, a 900 RPM SMG that is first strand 900 RPM SMG, I believe. First column. What are we thinking? I am thinking Enlightened Action. I think Enlightened Action is a very safe overall choice for pretty much all aspects of the game. Wherever you want to go, Enlightened Action doesn't require a lot of thought, right? Shoot gun, get reload speed bonus. That's all you really need to know. You don't really need to build into it or anything like that. So this is a pretty safe choice. If you do want to specialize a bit more in PvE, we're looking at Pugilist, we're looking at Demolitionist, we're even looking at Slice. Sever is an incredibly powerful debuff if you don't have a way to apply it outside of your weapon. But these are these are perks that require a bit more specialization. Like I wouldn't just throw on Demo without any sort of other grenade synergies or something like that. Same kind of goes with Pugilist. You need to keep these things in mind. When we're going over to PvP, I'm looking at Dynamic Sway, I'm looking at Perpetual Motion, I'm looking at Fragile Focus. These are all more things catered much more to the PvP side of the game. They're focused on range, they're focused on reload speed, weapon stability, all these kinds of things. Things that you don't need as much in PvE. In the second column, like, dare I say, you really can't go wrong in the second column. I think there are definitely choices that are better than others. But it's pretty stacked, right? You got Strategist in case you want to do any sort of ability energy type thing. Maybe combine that with Pugilist or Demo. Firefly is also here, but this is a 900 RPM SMG. Like, critical hits and critical kills are notably harder to perform on a faster firing weapon compared to something like a hand cannon, right? So if you did want to run with Firefly, I totally understand. I probably wouldn't run with Enlightened Action. If you are going to run with Firefly, because Firefly, when you proc the effect, you're going to get a reload speed bonus. So therefore, you probably don't need Enlightened Action. But just something to keep in mind. You know, you gotta hit a lot more headshot kills for Firefly to really be popping off. Desperate Measures, another thing that I think is fine. You just really need to play around it. Target Lock, I've never been a huge fan of on primaries. But, you know, it's on an SMG. You're going to get through your magazine, like, pretty quickly. So if you did want to rock it for PvE, okay. But I'm personally not really into Target Lock. Then we have a new perk, Chaos Reshaped, which is kind of like Frenzy if Frenzy had multiple levels, but then you got rid of all the other parts of Frenzy other than the damage. So you get 20% bonus damage after, I believe it's 12 seconds in combat. So 12 seconds in combat, then this triggers. And then another 12 seconds... that gets you 35% bonus damage. So you need to be in combat for like a pretty long time. Like, this is not something for quick engagement. Like, you need to be like, well, I'm thinking like first encounter in the raid, something like that, right? There's a lot of situations in the raid, for example, fitting because these are raid weapons, where there are a lot of extended combat phases. So you're going to be able to keep Chaos Reshaped up for like quite a while. Which you really need to maximize the value, because if you're in combat for 25 seconds, like, yeah, sure, you hit the 35% damage bonus, but you hit it for like 2 seconds, right? At that point, I'd rather just have Frenzy. It activates a little bit faster, and it gives you extra bonuses for the cost of 5% damage, right, at that level 1. So just something to keep in mind when you're chasing down Chaos Reshaped. Like, yes, it's very easy to activate. You just literally need to fight stuff. But you got to keep in mind where you're actually going to be when you're using this perk. Kill clip, sure. Kind of feels more like a PvP perk than a PvE one. Could you totally do Enlightened Action kill clip on the SMG? Sure. Do I think you're not using this thing to its full potential? Maybe. And then we have Hatchling for any sort of Hatchling strand type setups that you might want to employ in whatever you're doing. Next weapon, we have Critical Anomaly, a stasis sniper. I think the thing that some people are going to be drawn to here is Chill Clip. This is the first time that Chill Clip has appeared on a weapon that has not been a fusion rifle. And, I'm just physically using my brain to think about, like, do I really even want to use this on something that isn't a fusion rifle, or at the very least is on a sniper rifle? And, like, my gut right now is telling me no. So I'm very interested to see how the community, chooses to utilize chill clip on this sniper. You're only going to get 2 activations of chill clip because this thing only has 3 in the mag. So you're probably going to want to get a magazine perk if you are using chill clip so you can get an extra shot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm really feeling about it just yet. I of course, have not gotten one to drop with chill clip, so I haven't even had the ability to test. But given that I haven't really heard a whole lot about it, it just, to me, doesn't really seem the most exciting. But, Bungie's got to spread their wings at some point, try some perks on some different things. So maybe if you're really liking it, maybe you're doing like a chill clip headstone type thing where you're trying to get kills and, stasis crystals and all this kind of synergy stuff, let me know. I'm a little hesitant to be like, oh, chill clips on snipers is the next big thing. Get it twisted. Like, yeah, I don't really know. The other thing is rewind and reconstruction, the battle between 2 ammo restoration perks. So I'm pretty sure the math works out to where if you choose rewind rounds, it will eventually overtake reconstruction after, like, I think it's just 1 reload, right? So I think reconstruction is probably the better pick for, like, an overall experience. Like, if you're using the sniper everywhere and you just kind of need it to do a little bit of everything, because you're going to be able to get 8 shots in the mag with some sort of a magazine perk, and that's pretty good. Rewind rounds will get you 7 shots before you need to reload, but it's better in boss damage environments, raid environments, where you're going to be just spamming your sniper a whole lot and you want as few reloads as possible. So with rewind, you're going to get 7 and then 7 and then 7 and then 7. With reconstruction, you're going to get 8 and then 4 and 4 and 4. So reconstruction really early on is going to be better, but if you're shooting past, 9 shots or something like that, you're probably going to want to go with rewind rounds for any kind of boss damage situation. The rest of the perks, like, I'm not picking Frenzy. Keep aways, okay. Opening shot, PvP, quick draw, PvP. Snapshot, opening shot, if you want some sort of a PvP sniper, because, we don't have a trillion of those already. I haven't talked about the origin trait, collective purpose, gain bonus range and handling when near allies. In PvE, like, I'm sure there's like some speedrun team out there that's just like, okay, if we all stack collective purpose, then we need 1 less handling mod on our this, so that way we can change to this perk, and that's going to optimize our damage by like 0.4%, whatever. For the rest of y'all out there, like, I'm looking at this with like bows and swords, right? Because bows receive faster draw time. That's like a tangible thing that you can feel. Swords receive faster charge rate. That's another thing that you can kind of tangibly feel. And we do have a bow and a sword, so we'll get to that. But otherwise, I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not too crazy about collective purpose. Then when it comes to the second column, sorry, I'm being a bit more verbose than I feel like I usually am with this. We're looking at triple tap. We're looking at firing line. We're looking at bait and switch. So I did some very quick napkin math, like to compare triple tap versus firing line. And I think the way that it worked out is that firing line ended up being more DPS, whereas triple tap can get you more total damage, but it's going to take you longer to put that damage out. I think for the most part, you should just be leaning towards firing line. I think you should be leaning towards bait and switch. One of those 2 for your damage perk. I don't think I would really go triple tap on this thing specifically, even though we can do some like rewind triple tap. I think this combination with a mag, you could get like 10 shots. I think the way that I mathed it out. But the shots don't end up being more damage than just like putting on firing line or putting on bait and switch or something like that. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I would be leaning towards a damage perk. Chaos Reshaped, again, like maybe if you were already in combat and then you can get this up and running, sure, then like there's absolutely some viability there. But again, you just got to keep in mind how long you're fighting, where your engagements are, where are you using this thing, right? That matters a lot. And then Headstone, I mean, sure, I'm not the biggest fan of it on like a sniper where you're only really kind of using it for bigger targets. If you really want to slay out some red bar enemies, there's other weapons with Headstone. Like, just get that instead. Next, non-denouement or non-denouement if you don't know about France. What are we looking at here? This bow has volt shot. This bow is literally, we have Trinity Ghoul at home, volt shot, Archer's Tempo. I think that's a direction a lot of people are going to drift in. Dragonfly, Volt Shot as well. These are two combos that I think this is what people are going to be hunting down, right? Like, sure, could you do like Explosive Head, Archer's Tempo? Yeah, but you can get this combo on like a trillion other bows, right? Like, use the thing that the game is giving you. It's giving you Volt Shot. It's giving you one for all. There's not even that many bows with one for all in case you want to run one for all and do like a double damage thing, right? Use those things. Archer's Gambit. There's only one, technically two, because they unsunset Hush. There's only two bows with Archer's Gambit. So if you're kind of like an Archer's Gambit enjoyer, you were really missing Hush, the bow from Gambit from a while ago. Here you go, right? This is the only arc bow that has Archer's Gambit on it, in case you're kind of like a hip fire enjoyer. Other than that, I mean, sure, you want to run Desperate Measures, okay. You want to run Chaos Reshaped, okay. I mean, like, it's giving you Volt Shot, man. Volt Shot, it's giving you Dragonfly Volt Shot, it's giving you Archer's Tempo Volt Shot, it's giving you Archer's Gambit. Like, pick the new things. These other things, like, you can get variants of this on other bows, right? Like, when it comes to this one, Volt Shot, Dragonfly, Archer's Gambit, pick one of those, right? Like, this one, I think, to me, is much clearer of like what I'm going to be hunting down and what I think other people should be hunting down. Next, we have Forthcoming Deviance, which is a glaive. I know glaives, they're very good, but they're just not popular with the general crowd. Bungie's been doing quite a lot to get people to use glaives. And this thing, you know, it's got a lot of good stuff on it, right? Like Reconstruction, it's the first time Reconstruction's shown up on a glaive. I think if you're using a glaive sort of on and off, like I imagine a lot of people are kind of using their weapons, where you take it out, you use some shots, you stow it away, you let Recon do its thing, and boom, you're back up to full ammo. That's very, very good. But keep in mind, Grave Robber also will like trigger on glaive melee kills, right? Like Bungie's been doing a lot to make some of these perks synergize a bit more. So that's another option that you have. You have Replenishing Aegis, in case you're kind of maybe holding your glaive out a lot more than like your primary or something like that, or you're not interested in Grave Robber, right? There's options here. There's options here if you want them. Second column, again, sure, Chaos Reshaped. I think a lot of people are going to go for Chain Reaction for the kind of the fun factor, because Chain Reaction, it only got nerfed on Waveframe GLs, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check my notes. Destabilizing Rounds, if you want to trend in that direction, sure. We got close to melee as well. Desperate Measures will proc on glaive melee kill, like really, really quickly. Like you can get Desperate Measures up to X3 really fast, really, really fast. And this is like more or less, I don't want to say permanent 30% bonus damage, but like it's kind of close, right? It's kind of close to that. And like, you know, compared to like close to melee where you need the projectile kill to get that 30%, here you just need to stab stuff, right? You do like a Desperate Measures Grave Robber, you're just stabbing stuff, 30% bonus damage, and your ammo is always restored, right? So like, that's a pretty good combo right there. But I do think a lot of people are going to see like Reconstruction, Chain Reaction, and be like, ooh, I want to try that. So again, you got some options here, but I know glaives not really the most popular amongst the general Destiny crowd, but they are good, and this one it's got a lot of options. Next up, we have Nullify, the Heavy Burst Pulse Rifle. First of its kind, we got 3 Heavy Burst Pulse Rifles with Final Shape. This is one of them, and yep, Firefly, Incandescent, do not get it twisted. It's there, and it's good. It's very, very good. You're basically getting a double damage situation and a reload speed perk through Firefly. I mean, I feel like I could just go to the next weapon. Like we'll talk about some other things. You know, I know a lot of people like heal clip Incandescent on a bunch of solar weapons that have been coming out recently. That is absolutely an option if you want to do something like that. But I think the allure of Firefly Incandescent is just simply going to be too much for people to really consider anything else, right? You got Demo, you got Subsistence, you got Rapid Hit, right? But like it's really tough to beat the allure of Firefly Incandescent. So I actually have one of these that has dropped for me. I've really been enjoying it. I also have one with Chaos Reshaped. And again, my opinion on Chaos Reshaped hasn't really changed throughout the past, I don't know how long it's been, 15 minutes, something like that. So I also have this role as well. And it's fine. You just got to find the right situations for it. But otherwise, I think Incandescent and Firefly is a very, very easy move. I also haven't really been talking about any of the minor perks here. For anything that has like pretty bad recoil direction, I'm an arrowhead break enjoyer. It's like Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything, right? If it has poor recoil direction, I'm putting arrowhead break on it. Even if it doesn't have that poor recoil direction on it, I'm still probably putting arrowhead break on it. If you have something that's like 95 or higher recoil direction, you could probably go without it. You could probably tweak it to something else. I imagine a lot of people are probably going to be hunting down range, or maybe like where's freaking, we got corkscrew. Yeah, corkscrew for just like a little bit of a benefit in everything. And then this column, range is always like an easy choice to make. But in PvE, where you don't maybe need range as much, you could go for some kind of a magazine, although this is not changing at all. But I'm pretty sure you only get like 20. It's not 30 in the mag. I'm pretty sure it's only 22 in the mag. Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's 22, but this is saying 30. So like you could go for a mag perk as well for PvE. I think that's fine. Accurized, I would say maybe more like PvP direction. But if you also wanted to just like pick Accurized and just have more range and have it, be the end of it, sure, do that. But I'd probably lean more towards a magazine perk. That's just me. And that pretty much goes for like every other weapon. Arrowhead, like I think it's too good. Like the recoil direction being 100 is too valuable to me to do anything else. Summum bonum, the wave sword frame. So I'll show like what this actually does in case you haven't played around with a wave frame sword just yet. But essentially you do like an uppercut and it's just a wave, right? Like imagine a wave frame grenade launcher, and when you do the uppercut, it's just a shockwave. That's all it is, which is cool. But that to me kind of makes this sword a bit more of like an ad clear weapon as opposed to a boss damage weapon, because like you got vortex frame for the whirlwind attack. That's kind of more boss damage oriented. Like sure, it's an AoE, but it's still cranking out a lot of damage. And this, like, it also throws you up into the air. You can, while you're in the air, do like another swing and it'll send you straight to an enemy. But for like a boss, like you don't really want to be in the air, because then you have to wait to come down before you can start getting steady like sword attacks. So I'm thinking this is more of like an ad clear sword to me personally. In which case, relentless strike, sure, tireless blade also works. If you did want to do some sort of a sustain thing, you could do attrition orbs, but I probably would opt for that on like a sword that you're going to use specifically on a boss. So that way you can keep making orbs for your team. You can keep up your surges. You can keep up whatever other effects you might have going on. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of like an ad clear thing to me. So like, I don't even know if I would be really running bait and switch. You could do like chain reaction again for like more just kind of the memes and having a good time out there. One for all is absolutely going to be a viable option if you're hitting things with the wave attack, because you could probably hit 3 enemies in one wave, right? And that's 35% bonus damage. Yeah, like I'm probably not doing Vorpal. I'm probably not doing Surrounded unless there's a very specific, spot where Surrounded is going to proc. Whirlwind Blade is, you want to do Relentless Whirlwind, kind of classic combination. That's totally fine too. Bait and switch, it just to me is like not something I'm considering with an ad clear sword. I would much rather just have one for all, because I think you can proc it much, much easier, less hassle. Chain reaction, always good for some explosions. And then Chaos Reshaped is here as well in case you're in some kind of a situation for a long time. But if you are, like, why not use one for all? All you got to do is hit 3 enemies, or you could use Chaos Reshaped and have to wait 24 seconds for your thing to kick in, or you could do it instantaneously, right? Like, what are we talking about here? But also don't forget Collective Purpose, faster charge rate. That's going to give you more wave frame attacks, wave sword attacks. Not that the cooldown on it is like super long to like fully recharge your energy, but you know, just another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about this sword. You know, could you do like relentless bait? Could you do some of these other combos? Yeah, but like other swords also have this. Like, let's use this sword for the thing that it was built for, which is being a wave sword, right? And kind of being like like, let's focus on its strengths, not like, you know, or maybe you just like need an arc sword and you didn't craft a bequest or something, or you didn't get a Nasreddin from, what was that, season 20 world drop? It's still probably around, or maybe not. I'm not really sure. I don't really keep track of that. Yeah, like you can get, but otherwise, like you can get relentless whirlwind on like other stuff. So unless you need arc specifically, like I think play to its strengths a bit more. Okay, I'm done. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.